Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video, and in today's video, this is gonna be a very different video. So, as you may have known, I've been working on a park building series called Building Canada's Wonderland. Well, guys, we're starting another building series, and that is going to be the Smiler. Yes, we're going to be remaking the Smiler from Alton Towers inside of Theme Park Tycoon 2. No, this does not mean Canada's Wonderland. The series itself is not, cancelled. I kind of want to try something brand new. I think this is going to be really fun. So now, in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the main layout for the ride. This was very complex. Anyways, before we guys get straight into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, join my Discord server, please. I'm actually desperate for members. Anyways, let's get straight into it. So as you can see here, what I'm working on is like this downwards bit where the first inversion is before we get into the second or the first lift hill. Yes, and then you can kind of see me testing a little bit here and there, and obviously readjusting it to make the heartline roll a lot more smoother, which clearly didn't. And then here we begin the first lift. Now this is where I kind of had problems because we're also incorporating the first drop for between the second, as you, for example here I had to move the station because the distances between the second drop on the second lift hill and the first drop, it wasn't able to fit onto past the borderlines of my park here in Theme Park. Now kind of redoing it with the 1 to 4 meter method, obviously, and then just testing it right here, and then just continually readjusting it and stuff and crap. It's very annoying, very repetitive. But, that's just how roller coaster building goes. Just working on the first lift hill, then we're getting into the first drop, which is our second inversion, and then it's going to, and then it kind of leads into this first inversion right here. Now later on in the video, you might see me casually redo this using the 1 to 4 meter method. I'll probably just tell you about that. Anyways, so we're getting straight into the first inversion. And then we're going into, and then we're gonna just slightly test it. And then we're going to, and then some parts of here had to be I had to add some boosters to make the ride go a little bit faster, in a sense. Because it was whenever without the boosters, it was kind of crawling through each inversion, which kind of sucked. Now here I'm working on the second inversion, which leads into the big airtime hill, or that small airtime hill, or whatever, before it leads into the third inversion. Here I had to clear up some lands, that way it's more easier for me to work with. And then here comes the Batwing loop, which is the fourth inversion. Here had to keep clearing land, had to get rid of the height check or whatever. And then we had to then working on the second half of the Batwing loop, and then working on next will be the corkscrew, and then the corkscrew is the last inversion before we make it to the halfway point. Now through here, this is when I told you I'm actually kind of just redoing most of the layout, or this first half of the layout, using the 1 to 4 meter method, which was more time consuming, but it was more helpful, you know what I mean? Because the 1 to 4 meter method, it's what it's what helps out plan out your elements, and then it helps you kind of smoothen it here and there, and and then moving on here is the second inversion we done in the 1 to 4 meter method, and then of course, and then here we're going into the airtime hill, and then now as you can kind of see, I'm just gonna continuously keep testing it to make sure that it kind of just make sure it kind of makes it through. Now here what I'm doing is I'm connecting all of the parts of the track, the 1 meter track, to make it smoothen more, just like what I'm doing with the first drop, just like so. And then I'm just testing it again, of course. Then just kind of readjusting the next dive loop right here, and then the airtime hill. Final testing. before I get straight into the Batwing. Now here, this airtime hill kind of like, you know, turns around a little bit before you get into that first bit. Now back into the Batwing, again, using the 1 to 4 meter method. And then this here, like, instead of just like going straight flat onto the ground, there's like some sort of bank turn before it goes into the second off. Now this is where I struggled the most on, because I couldn't get, like, you know, the right proportions right. Like having one of the loops being larger than the other, it kind of like it made the profiling worse, and it turned out like into something I wasn't fully satisfied with. Now here, as you can kind of see, I'm just looking at the POV a little bit and some image referencing, and then I just kind of finish it off like that. I'm not a huge fan of it. Now heading into the corkscrew again. Now this time I kind of did pretty good on this. Slightly, well, I mean, you know, the profiling is still off, you know. And then we're just gonna add the block breaks leading into the halfway bit. Actually, before we do that, we can just kind of readjust it a little bit. And yeah, now into this to like, you know, the halfway part. Sorry for that horrible stutter. Anyways, guys, before we kind of continue off on the comments, guys, let me know in the comments, should I make a tutorial or a video tutorial on how to make a roller coaster, or how to make a very smooth coaster? Because I think a lot of you guys might want to know that. And like, you know, obviously some tips and tricks, maybe. Even though I am pretty ass at making roller coasters. But yeah, like, maybe, let's see. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Anyways, you're kind of just testing. Now that we kind of spent like so long on the first half, like, holy crap, this, like, the first half took me like roughly an hour to perform, or to pull off. Like an hour. It's just so complex. Next, we're working on the second drop, just like I said. It's kind of similar to the first drop. Then here it's gonna go into this big serpent roll or whatever. Yeah, as you can kind of see right here. And then you're just working on the next inversion. And then we're gonna go into this big airtime hill, ejector airtime as always. And then I think the Cobra roll, it goes underneath the track and all. And yeah, it's kind of like a head chopper between the bottom part of the Batwing loop and then like I love how it kind of intertwines with the Batwing loop is a thing. And here, this one, I'm pretty sure whenever you go straight down on the Cobra roll, you get jolted. I don't know, I haven't ridden the Smiler or anything. Look, listen, Canada's Wonderland is my home park only, and will always forever be my home park. And I don't think going to Alton Towers is kind of worth to go, because like there's not that many rides for me to go on, so you know, so that's why I kind of don't want to go on the Smiler. Also, a lot of people said that this ride is kind of overrated. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is the Smiler overrated or is the Smiler underrated? Just let me know. Give me your opinions. Now here, I kind of just finished off the layout. Now, this is like before I kind of like smoothen the ride and all. And then you can just see how the trains are like, you know, traversing. They traverse successfully. Now here, as you can see, I'm connecting all the pieces together for like the Cobra roll and then all the other elements here too. And yeah, so far it looks really good actually, very good so far. Now we're just gonna go straight. Yeah, just adjusting the terrain. Now kind of just going straight into like, you know, the rest of the elements I'm gonna be doing here. Now at the very end of the video, we're gonna be doing a POV. Now this POV is like very different compared to like the one you saw at the very beginning, because I had to readjust the ride. I wasn't very satisfied with how it turned out, because obviously it was pretty terrible. It was not even as like everything else, but that final bit was very unsmooth, so I had to readjust and stuff. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking here, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, join my Discord server as always. Now see you guys in the next video.